speaking for the passage of the Right to Information Bill has started, a street advocacy campaign. And so we have Maxwell Agbagba is interacting with all those advocates there on the high street here in Accra. And Maxwell Agbagba is coming to us live from there. Good morning to you, Maxwell.
We understand that the Right to Information Coalition currently is engaging itself in a lot of activities to get this bill actually laid before Parliament and then subsequently passed. Now, if you come here to the Accra High Street, we have some young men on the street, a lot of them in RTI action campaign T-shirt, sharing leaflets, encouraging members to demand action on the passage of this bill into law. Some of them are in the background right now. You can see them skating, distributing some leaflets to people who are heading to their various workplaces. They've been doing this for some time now. All of that demanding action. But I have with me here Gideon Nikwe. He is a member of the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative. They are actively engaged in this. He's going to tell us more about what they are doing on the streets of Accra today. Gideon, you're welcome to JoyNews.
Good morning and thank you.
Okay, so can you tell us more about this this action campaign?
Okay, this action campaign actually came into force because we've had governments upon governments promising to get the Right to Information Bill passed into law. And we've been advocating for the passage of the bill for more than 17 years now. And each government come, we don't see any progress. And when the Akufo-Addo government came into power, they promised to get the bill passed in the first 100 days. The first 100 days elapsed, the bill was never passed. They gave us they were going to pass it in July. It never got passed. Before the end of the year 2017, it never got passed. And then we received promises upon promises. And so it looks like as if citizens are being taken for granted. And the president stated in his inauguration address that we should be citizens and not spectators. So if we have to be citizens, we can't be sitting back and not have access to information to be able to hold government accountable. Okay. And we've been demanding for the Right to Information Bill to be laid in Parliament so citizens can have a law for which they can use to demand for information from the government. Okay.
So tell us more about what is happening today. We understand this is going to continue for how many days?
Currently, we launched a campaign last Wednesday. That's a countdown to get government to move the bill from cabinet into Parliament so that it can be laid in Parliament. And we're giving them 10 days because during the president's Independence Day speech, he said the bill was going to be sent to Parliament before the session ends. So which session is Mr. President talking about? Is it the current session? If we believe it's the current session, then the president have to do what he says.
Okay. I see a lot of, I see this young man skating, sharing leaflets. What exactly are they supposed to be doing?
So they're sharing leaflets. As you can see, I have a copy of the leaflet here. It states out what access to information can actually do. We talk about oil revenue. How much is going into the oil revenue? People need to know. We talk about Galamsey. It's still going on. Who are the people behind it? We need access to information to demand for those things. We talk about government, the judgment debts. Who are the people behind it? We need access to information. Yes, the Constitution guarantees us right to information. But what the Constitution says is that when you demand for information and then you can't get it, you need to go to the court. Okay. Not everybody can go to the court. Me here, I'm a learned person. I might have the resources. By the time in which it will take to get the information, probably by the time whatever I need, that time would have elapsed. And then I would have wasted money. Yeah. My grandmother in the village, when she needs something, cannot come to the court. How many learned people even go to the court? Even some lawyers are even afraid to enter court. So if we are seeking for the Right to Information Bill to be laid in Parliament and passed, so that every ordinary citizen can demand for information. When you have the Right to Information Bill passed, it means that people can actually demand for whatever budget is going into the free education, so that nobody sits behind and say that this money has been put in there, and then another person comes to say, now, government hasn't paid any money. When there's an access to information law, you can actually demand for information, so you can actually tell the true picture and know. Governments come in and make promises during campaigns. And then when they come into power, they say that, oh, we didn't know the situation was this way, we didn't know our accounts were this way. But even if ministers and presidents and governments can say, give out this excuse, it means that if they have a right to information law, any political party can actually demand for the true state of the economy, and that will be presented to that person. So based on that, you can make your campaign promises on that. And then you can actually demand, and then when you give out your promises, you don't come back and tell us that we didn't know the true state of the affairs.
Now, you gave government a 10-day ultimatum. Yeah. That is going to elapse in the next 5 days.
In the next 5 days.
In the next 5 days. And clearly, we are not seeing any, action by Parliament to get, this bill before them, before they rise on the 23rd March, we are told. What are you going to do if they rise without, considering this?
If they rise without considering, they sometimes say when you are going to war, you don't give out all your strategies, but we've got strategies. So when this 10 days elapses, we have other plans. There are a series of activities which will mount pressure on government. I've heard ministers and MPs saying that we can't push them to pass the bill.